Hey everyone, Danny here with the Addiction Prevention Coalition. We are coming to you live from our office here in Birmingham, Alabama. We are right in the middle of Recovery Month 2018, so we're coming to you with another Facebook Live. And we thought, what better way to celebrate Recovery Month than let a local person share their story. So we have today a fitness model, Miss Bikini, Alabama, U.S. She is a blogger and a mother and a personal friend of my family, Cassie Drake. So Cassie, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. So let's jump right into it. Cassie has a great story. So if you know someone that needs encouragement, please share this video, like it, hashtag Recovery Month. Let's get the word out. So Cassie, let's start in just maybe your childhood and high school and what that transition was like and what that experience was like for you.
So, my childhood was, I feel like pretty normal. I have a great family, praying grandparents. We had I say leave it to Beaver type family because every single night we were at the dinner table at 6 p.m. If we weren't there, my mom was, fit to be tied. We were close. Everything, we weren't really spoiled, but we didn't lack for anything. And then went to high school. I was cheerleader, co-captain, captain, who's who, just social butterfly of the school. And I didn't really party that much. My senior year, I started kind of going to some parties. That was the first time I had tried weed. That was definitely not my thing. I did not like that at all. And I went to a party one night and had a little bit too much to drink. I was hanging around with some older people. And honestly, I feel like looking back, this is probably where my problem started. Hanging around with older people, and I had to be home by 11 or 11:30, and I knew that I was too intoxicated to go home, so someone offered me cocaine. So that was the first time that I actually ever did a drug. So I believe that's where it started.
Okay. So what was the transition like when you got out of high school? I mean, did you continue to do drugs at that point, or did you not really get into it at that point?
I got out of high school. I met someone that I eventually married, and during that time, I did some pain pills. I would go to the doctor and get cough medicine. I was not searching for that, but if I had it, I would take it. One night we were leaving a Matchbox 20 concert, and there was a dude in front of me that had, he had a broken leg. He was on crutches, but he dropped his pain pills. And I scooped them up, and it was like I won the prize of the day because I found those pills, So that's kind of where it started. That led into doing ecstasy, and then just a number of stuff. And then, but still during all that time, I still knew that I had a purpose, but I just could not break away from it. So, after I had my daughter, I kept having these weird symptoms of pain, and I went to the rheumatologist, and he gave me Lortabs. He actually asked me, do you want Lortabs or do you want Oxycontin? Well, at the time I had heard so many horrible things about Oxycontin, I knew that that's not what I wanted. So I went in and took the Lortabs. So obviously started out with 1, and then went to 2, 3, 5, 7. And when I went back for a checkup, I said, I really don't want to take this many because it's probably killing my liver at this point. So he said, we can give you methadone. It's as effective, but you can take less. And I think that will help you more. So that's what I did. I took the methadone. And methadone is not meth to anybody who does not know that. It's an opiate. So I took that for a while and started having marital problems that were predominantly about money. It was not about the drug use. because at the time I felt like I was doing the right thing because I was under doctor's orders, and I think that that's where a lot of people get messed up. They start with the prescription drugs, and they start by thinking that it's okay because the doctor gave it to you. And it does not matter. I mean, addiction does not discriminate. It does not matter where you come from, how much money you have, what you're, like all the accolades that you've had in school or anything else. It just doesn't. I mean, I know some very upstanding people who still are addicted.
Well, now that's interesting because you shared with me earlier, and what I know about your story is you were actually married to a guy who was in the NFL. He was a football player.
Yes.
So on the outside, everything looked like it was going right along, but
Yes.
you were kind of slipping into this stuff, you know?
Yes. So I was married to an NFL player. The last place we were was Dallas. He played for Dallas Cowboys, and out of respect for him, I'm not going to elaborate on some stuff. But I mean, we were playing golf at, the Dallas Cowboys golf course. We were at galas with Jerry Jones and Michael Irving and Emmitt Smith, and looking back on that, I it's so hard to see that that's where I was. That is who I was at one time. And then it was shortly thereafter that I took a dive, just for the worst. So
walk me through that process. So you guys eventually got divorced.
Yes.
And then what happened to your life at that point as far as substance abuse goes?
So we got divorced. I was actually trying to be clean for about 3 months. I was still, and it's crazy, but 3 months after coming off of the methadone that was doctor prescribed, I was still having withdrawals. I mean, I was still not my normal functioning self. And the craziest thing, someone from my past actually knocked on my door looking for someone else. And it was a person that I knew always had dope. I knew they always had stuff. And because I was still having the withdrawals and I was still not my normal self and I was still feeling sick, I asked him, "Do you have anything?" And he did. And from that point, I did an Oxycontin, and I kept doing them over and I mean, by the end of my addiction, I was actually doing anywhere from 5 to 7 80 milligram Oxycontins a day.
Wow.
So once I got to that level, I knew I couldn't afford that. I mean, I had pawned everything that I had, sold everything that I had, lost everything that I had, and started doing heroin. And that was the cheaper route. That was the only way that I knew that I could survive, and face my family and face life, is by getting the heroin. And so I never injected it, thank God. That was the one thing that probably did save my life, because I feel like had I injected it and had I used it like I had seen other people use it, then I probably would not be here. I 1000% would not be here. So I went on that route for a little while. I finally had to come clean with my family that this is what was going on. And I never actually went to rehab. I did check into a detox center, and I was there for 3 days. And the medication that they had me on, and the detoxing and the withdrawals, and I just had some kind of adverse effect. I decided that I was checking out, and I did not care who liked it. They begged me to stay. They chased me down the road. I mean, I was out in the parking lot with my bags, waiting on anybody to come pick me up. And so when I went back to my house, they had changed the locks. This was the first time I went to jail, because I was trying to break into my house that I was actually renting, and I was trying to break in, and I went to jail for the first time. And that actually is the one thing that saved my life. And the way, I mean, there's details that I won't explain, but the way that I went really wasn't 100% truthful, but it was the only thing that they knew that would save my life. So I did that. So I did, I think, 3 or 4 days in there, and withdrawing in jail is not pleasant. So After that, I stayed clean. I was an up and down case. I didn't really go out and get the heroin or anything like that, but I just was up and down. I was going out partying. I was still trying to meet a need, but this time it was with partying and alcohol. And still, a year after I was clean, I was still dealing with the adverse effects of it.
So let's jump into this, because you've been through a lot, and you know, you're a very impressive individual at this point. You've overcome so much, and you have a lot of inspiration in your story. So start walking me through, you know, the change takes place. I mean, you're a fitness model, Miss Bikini Alabama US, you're a blogger, you're a single mom, you're inspirational. So talk about where the change takes place, and then talk to me about your motivation, and then a little bit about what you would say to people that are really facing some of the stuff that you faced.
So my motivation is my daughter, and I'm gonna try not to cry. Sorry, y'all. I get a little emotional. My motivation is my daughter. I mean, I would never, ever want her to experience something like this. So that, and just, I always feel like I have to prove myself.
It's okay.
So I decided that I was going to share my story, because I feel like, even as hard as it is, I know that I have a purpose to share it. So I started a blog, and I just wanted to kind of give the lessons that I've learned over time. You gotta help me pull it together here. I don't know.
You're doing great.
I'm getting so emotional.
You're doing great. I mean, it's a powerful story. It's emotional.
So I started a blog, and I just wanted to share with people, you know, the things that I'd been through, the lessons that I'd learned from it. And then someone mentioned to me about doing a Miss Bikini pageant, and I'm real active in fitness. I mean, it's another one of my motivations, being healthy and staying strong and being a strong person no matter what you have experienced. I mean, being able to overcome something like that, I look over it so many times, but it's actually that's incredible, really.
It really is.
So I forget that sometimes, but someone talked me into doing the pageant, and I was named Miss Bikini Alabama, United States. That's the older version, for anybody who doesn't know that. I like to tell that. And I mean, in between there, I bought a house. Bought my first house. I'd been trying for 10 years to buy it. And so now here we are. I just bought my very first brand new car, and just got a great job, and I mean, that's pretty much where I am.
That's amazing.
So,
I mean, because the moral of the story is there is hope. If anyone's watching this story and you're listening to Cassie, and no matter where you are on the journey, you may still be getting high. You may have one day sober. You may have 10 years sober. You know, the truth of the matter is there is hope, and we find that hope in each other. And I just want to say, Cassie, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Ryan.
So inspirational. I've known you for years now, and the lives that you've touched up to this point, it's just amazing. And I know you're going to touch so many people with this. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so guys, stay tuned for some more great Facebook Live videos. We got more stories coming up for Recovery Month and beyond. So please click that share, and we'll see you soon.